with the Young Bucks denying that they sent feelers to WWE and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for September 13th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. When a fan asked which current stars he'd pick to start a wrestling promotion, Eric Bischoff had this to say on his 83 Weeks podcast. "I still think Dolph Ziggler is one of the most underrated, incredible talent that's out there all the time. He's just perfect. He's really versatile. I think he's got some depth, given his amateur background, his believability. That's why I feel the way I feel. His believability in the ring. He reminds me a little bit of Kurt Angle. I know they're not in the same category necessarily as amateur wrestlers, but just like Kurt had the ability to go out and just be a legitimate man-killing machine because of his credibility, and then on Tuesday night he could do stand-up with you." A fan would also ask Eric Bischoff about a current star he'd like to write for in pro wrestling, to which he responded, "I would like to be on the team to write Randy Orton's retirement story. Like there's going to be a point in time when Randy's ready to cash it in. I'd love to be on the team to write that one. Randy Orton, we haven't seen him a lot lately. He kind of comes in and comes out." After Kevin Owens called out Austin Theory and brawled with him, Theory noted on Raw Talk how he is tired of people underrating him. "Kevin Owens wants to unveil that I'm just handed opportunities. Let me take you back down memory lane. The Elimination Chamber. I beat Kevin Owens to get into the chamber. What happened there? I was the only man in that chamber left with Brock Lesnar. And then, when I became the youngest United States champion, I defended against a man that has done so many things. So many championships, Finn Balor. I beat him straight up. I'm tired of people trying to downplay my achievements like I haven't busted my butt. I'm the future, and the future is right in front of you, and that is A-Town down." Speaking to Inside the Ropes, Bianca Belair touched on a rivalry with Becky Lynch, which ended at SummerSlam with Bianca retaining her Raw Women's title. "It was so satisfying. It was a long road, a very long and unpredictable road. From SummerSlam, the 26-second SummerSlam, very unpredictable and out of nowhere. You never know where things are going to go. So, for us to be able to get back to it at WrestleMania and then get back to it again at SummerSlam, I feel like that is something that isn't really done a whole lot, especially for the women in our feuds. So, to be able to get with Becky Lynch and have this memorable feud with her and be able to bring it back full circle to where now it started with a handshake and ended with a handshake, the whole redemption story for me, to be able to walk out with the title again after losing it in such a controversial way, it was very satisfying." Giving his reaction to not seeing Vince McMahon backstage anymore following his retirement, WWE star Omos told Say Less that it's weird not seeing the old man every day because the last 2 years I was on, I saw him every day, and now Hunter is there. Hunter is one of us. He's one of the boys. A lot of us have that trust because he has similar experiences as us. We trust him. It's been a lot more laid back. He's very involved. He's down at rehearsals, working with talent. He's very hands-on." On Raw last night, Edge took on Dominic Mysterio, which ended in a DQ after interference from the Judgment Day. The faction would target the leg of Edge, as Dom delivered a shot from a steel chair. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer would note that he's got a limited contract, so he's not around weekly. It felt like this was another injury angle for Edge, with it appearing as if the Rated R superstar has been written off programming. It remains to be seen when he returns. Talking about Jon Moxley's promo from last week on Dynamite with MJF, Jim Cornette heaped praise on the former AEW champion as he noted on his podcast, "I can't believe that I'm going to say this, but this promo was brilliant. This promo was not only the best, I mean look, in one way, Moxley ought to quit now. He ain't going to top this. This was not only the best Jon Moxley promo I've ever heard, this was actually one of the best promos in wrestling period that I've ever heard for a particular situation." With WWE legend Marty Jannetty suffering from ankle issues throughout his career, he went on Facebook recently to give fans an update on his health. I'm very proud to say that ankle right there, it's just slightly damaged from all them years of putting my foot in people's rear end, otherwise called ass, and jumping off top ropes to the floor, not just into the ring but to the floor. And I'm very proud to say I'll do it again right now. I ain't scared. Well, wait a minute, Swaggy just looked at me and extended its claws, which means you don't even try. Oh well, it was a fun thought. With Sasha Banks and Naomi recently walking during the New York Fashion Week, the boss told Page 6 about her modeling debut. It felt chaotic. It felt like my first wrestling match all over again. I'm back to being the new girl. Felt like everyone was like, who's this? Who's taking my spot? But I just had to walk in with confidence like I knew what I was doing, because this has been a dream of mine for such a long time, to be in the modeling space. With many thinking that Roman Reigns will face The Rock at WrestleMania 39, WrestleVotes has noted that there are issues booking the undisputed Universal Champion, writing, "The situation with the world titles and Roman Reigns is a complex one according to a source. They would like to go into Mania season and WrestleMania itself with two champions, but they also don't want Reigns losing at all prior. I'm told Triple H and company are open to all things creatively here." Reacting to CM Punk's rant from All Out, Teddy Long told Wrestling Inc., "I really don't think Tony Khan knew what to do. I don't even think he thought about cutting off CM Punk's mic. I think Tony Khan wanted to hear it. I think he was more surprised than anybody." Talking about Tony Khan's announcement on Dynamite that the AEW World and Trios titles had been vacated, Eric Bischoff said on his Strictly Business podcast, "I wish Tony had said something other than just saying he vacated the titles, because you can't assume everyone on the show is following on the internet. You have to mention what's going on. To casual fans who didn't watch anything or know anything, now you don't know." Speaking of Tony Khan, he would talk with the Wrestling Observer about the difficulties with sending AEW talent to Japan, as fans expect to see AEW stars at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 17 event in January. One challenge this year they'll have to keep an eye on is the Tokyo Dome is on a Wednesday. That hurts you on Friday because you can keep Wednesday strong, but you lose 4 big stars, and that can hurt you on Friday. I really want to rebuild Friday. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm going to do my best to support them because they are our partner. But I also can't send everyone over there. If it was the weekend, I'd send the house, because that's the kind of partners we are. It's a really great relationship, because we already have gotten to talk about that. We have to do Dynamite, and a good chance that maybe Rampage will be taped that day. When discussing who saw the backstage brawl after All Out between the Elite and CM Punk, Jim Cornette accused the EVPs of withholding information. Well, the side that burst into the locker room had at least one talent relations executive, 3 vice presidents, and the number 2 in command, and the head of the legal department, and there's still an investigation going on. Well, it seems like with all the dignitaries in the company, you'd get the straight story, wouldn't you, from them? Except if all those dignitaries were from the side that caused the whole problem. That's why there's an investigation going on, because there's more to the story than what that group is giving out. It was even noted by Dave Meltzer, BTE's on hiatus. They've been pulled from all advertising from all shows, Omega and the Bucks, including the pay-per-view, which is months away. Omega was also recently spotted visiting the Sega office in Japan. With Kenny Omega being suspended from AEW and stripped of his Trios title after a backstage brawl with CM Punk falling All Out, Meltzer has noted in the Observer newsletter that the Cleaner's contract could likely extend. As he said, Kenny's contract is up in February, but they will likely add the 9 to 10 months for his being out, so likely end of 2023. We don't know they will. Young Bucks' deal is up around January 1st, 2024, give or take a week, but not earlier. I don't know the actual date of signing, but they couldn't have signed until January 1st. While it was reported that the Young Bucks as well as Kenny Omega sent feelers to WWE, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio that Matt and Nick Jackson have refuted these claims. It is not known who they sent feelers through if they did, with it speculated that they talked with Kevin Owens, who maybe put in a word for them. It was added that the Bucks said that this did not occur privately, but there are reasons for them to deny this, according to Meltzer. During his interview with Wrestling Inc., WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long spoke about Vince McMahon retiring as chairman and CEO of the company, saying, "I've never experienced none of that. When this came out about Vince and stuff, it was really a shock to me. To know him, and I guess I didn't know him, but I mean, to be around him as long as I was, and to just see how professional and how business he was. I'm saying, I just would have never thought that. I never will forget that WWE commentator Michael Cole told me one time that wrestling was Vince's life. I was on Vince's plane at the time, and Michael Cole told me that Vince will talk about wrestling when we take off, and he will talk about it until we land." And that's exactly what he did. We talked about wrestling that whole flight. So that's why I think him being away is, like I said, he's been doing this for so many years. So to step away like that, it's going to take a lot out of it. With John Laurinaitis, it's karma. Karma will come back to get you. Laurinaitis was never a big fan of mine. He was laughing and grinning in my face, but he hated my guts. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.